warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a good day to everyone. Welcome back to Landscape Planning Techniques and welcome back to continue your second semester. I hope all of you are well and I hope that you all have had a good break at home during the MCO. Okay, so to kickstart or to restart second semester, what I would like to do is to recap what we have learned for the 5 weeks that when we were in campus, just to give you a refresher before we continue further on the course. So just to double check, make sure all of you are in the right class. So this is ALA 2293, Landscape Planning Techniques. And just in case some of you might have forgotten my name over the past 2 months, I'm Dr. Khalila Zakaria and I'm your lecturer for this course. Okay, so let's recap what the course is about. So basically for Landscape Planning Techniques, there are 3 key objectives. The first one are for you to understand the theories and fundamentals of landscape resource planning. So we've looked into what landscape planning is and what are some of the examples of resources and why is it that we need to plan. Okay, number 2 is to learn about the techniques and tools of landscape analysis. Now, we have not yet gotten into this one yet, so this is what we'll be doing for the rest of the week until the end of the semester. Now, this part is the essential part which you will use in your 3rd year studio later on for landscape resource planning. So what I'll do is that we'll look into some case studies and projects, and then we'll try to do activities that you can do which is applicable to the project. Something hands-on, maybe if not through computer or software, that's something that you can do manually, but to simulate the process involved in doing a landscape analysis. Okay, and then number 3 is to come up with the output of landscape planning decisions. So as we know, in landscape architecture or landscape planning, usually the end product would be the master plan. So how do we present this master plan in terms of the information needed to be there to demonstrate how we make our planning decisions? Okay, so what have you learned and done before the MCO in the course? Do you still remember? Okay, no worries. I'll help to recap for you. So we actually spent 5 weeks before the MCO. So during week 1, that was the first time that we officially met. And if you recall, we did an activity where I asked everybody to tell me where they're from. And then I grouped all of you according to your states. Okay, and did you remember what you had to do? Right, so you had to identify the resources in your state. Natural resources and also cultural resources, and you had to map them. Okay, so during the first week, we learned about what landscape planning is and what are landscape resources. So when you did the mapping, then you realize, actually, for example, my state has a lot of natural assets and it is rich with culture, lifestyle, and historical buildings and so forth. So that is the basic way of understanding what resources are, because before we plan or design anything, we need to know what we have first. Like if you don't know what you have, then you probably won't value it as you would if you know. Okay, and then in week 2, I've given you a task to watch a video by Professor Emeritus Syed Hossein Nasr, and you did sketch notes. So the video talks about the Islamic perspectives on the environment. You can refer back to your sketch notes. So essentially, what the video or Prof. Syed Hossein Nasr explained was that, how we treat the environment reflect the society. Nature does not need us, but we are the ones who need nature. So how exactly do we learn from the natural processes to guide how we design and plan later on? Okay, and then week 3, we looked into the landscape and the ecosystem. So this is talking about the roles of the landscape, not just as a singular or one entity, but how it is interrelated and it has other sub-ecosystems in it. You're talking about, if you imagine the earth, even of where you are now. For example, I'm in my home, in my backyard. There's their own habitat of not just human, but I have monkeys at the backyard of my house, and then I can see birds, the bees, and also grasshoppers and butterflies. So when we observe closely, we can realize that it's a very rich ecosystem. We cannot disregard these other things that are there on the site. And even things that we cannot see, like the wind. You can see the wind only when it blows on the tree, and you can feel the wind. How do you design something to take advantage of the wind so that it becomes something nice for your design? Okay, so it's about being in tune with the landscape and its relationship with the ecosystem. And if you remember, during this week was when you all as a studio were divided into a group, and you had to do a news challenge using local issues that relate to environment, right? So we talked about how mistreatment or improper planning or decisions would affect the environment and have impacts. So I'm going to share you, some of the photos of the activities that you did. So these are two examples of sketch note from the video. One of it is by, I think, Mirza Kwan, so the name is behind my camera. And the other one here is from Amirah Nordin, just to show you an example. So make sure you still have them, and please make a reference to them. And then this video here shows some photos that I took during your news challenge, where I think one of the group won. When you did your mapping during the first class, I think I accidentally deleted those photos. So I'm so sad that I don't have them to show you today. Okay. So then, during week 4, we had Professor Eliar, Dr. Ismawi Zain, who came to talk about the Tawhidic approach in landscape planning, or the role of Khalifah in landscape planning. So he shared about what it means for us to read meaning to understand from nature, Iqra, in order for us to be informed and to make good decisions and to make better plan. Okay. And then after that class, because we were so inspired by the need to reconnect with nature, all of you, including me, did our 20 minutes of nature video. So I watched all of the videos that you all did and sent, and subhanAllah, you can consider yourselves to be very lucky because you live in such beautiful surroundings. And it's very serene and peaceful looking at your videos and also hearing your reflections. Okay. So that was week 4 on landscape resource planning and our role as Khalifah. And then on week 5, we did like a brief exposure on resources for inventory and analysis. So I know week 5 class was quite packed. So what I'm going to do for the class later on is I'll recap week 5, because this is where the inventory and analysis factors play a huge role, because we're going to look into what it means to study topography, to look into hydrology, vegetation, wildlife, and also look into the built and cultural resources such as culture, demography, views and census, and so forth. So we'll go through that one by one, and I hope you can also think about it in line with your Tanjung Malim studio project. Okay, so I look forward for you to share me some examples from Tanjung Malim later on when we discuss about this topic. And then week 6, on March 18th, 2020, was a historical date because the whole of Malaysia went under the movement control order. So as of today, it has now been 2 months, and we make dua that Allah, lift away this pandemic, and then ensure that all environment is safe for us to continue to live on. So everyone had to stay home and practice social distancing. and ensure we wash and sanitize our hands. And just a reminder that we will still keep doing that. Make sure you do that. I have to make sure that I do that also, because as the slogan goes, kita jaga kita. If we don't take care of ourselves first, then how are we going to make changes in the society? Yes, your first assignment. So I have given you your first assignment where you had to do a book review. Well, basically chapter review. Each of you chose a chapter from the list of books that I gave, and then you had to read the chapter and then do sort of like a vlog to share about it. And I intend to compile all these videos according to their book so that everyone can learn from each other and listen to the videos. And you also had to do sketch notes, right? So it's lovely to see your sketch notes have improved since the first one. Okay, why do you think I ask you to do sketch notes? Basically because when you read and you draw and write, it forces you first to read the words, and then it encourages you to extract what are the key points. And then when you write, it can actually help you to understand better, and then hopefully, inshallah, to also remember what you have done. Of course, we will forget, but having a hard copy, that is something that you can refer to. And even a photo of this map that you can look back into later on. Cool. So I took Rabiatul Adawiya's video because she had the header and footer and her sketch notes, just an example to show what you all have done before. Okay, so what's ahead? We are going to look into the techniques and applications of landscape planning techniques. Okay, such as, so if you have done inventory analysis and you have this set of data, what do we do with it? How do we analyze it? And then what are the questions that we need to ask to help us evaluate the site conditions? And then eventually, what do we do from the results of those inventory analysis and synthesis? How does it guide us to make our proposed master plans? So from week 6, which is from the week of 1st June until 7th June, this will be a trial run in which this is the time that you will receive this video. We are going to look into what would be suitable methods for me to conduct the class. Inshallah, what I intend to do is to do short videos on YouTube and give you the links. And then I'll also post the link in Google Classroom and iTalim. I think so far for our class, we're doing quite all right using Google Classroom because everybody can upload multiple files quite easily in Google Classroom. And then we'll also set up a WhatsApp group, or maybe by this time we would have set up already WhatsApp group, so that I can give the links to the videos, because then you can watch it right away in your phone. So for the videos, I intend to do it just short videos, so it wouldn't take too long, it may be in several parts. And then what we will do for class is that we will meet perhaps 1 hour or 1.5 hours using video conferencing. So we can try to use Google Meet, or we can try to use Zoom, and then we'll see which one works better for everyone. And then what we can do during our virtual meetup is to engage more in discussions. So I will share some examples of case studies and we'll discuss. So it will be a more interactive session online. Okay, and then during week 7, this will be your adjustment period, because most of you will be traveling back from your hometown to IUM. So I'll still upload my lectures online, either by video or by PDF, which you can access anytime. And then we'll officially meet again for our lessons on the video conferencing and discussions from week 8 onwards. So from 17th June onward. So from this week onwards, we'll be looking into detail of the resources for inventory analysis and going to a bit deeper on the application of the techniques one by one until the end of the semester. Okay, so I hope everything is clear. Don't hesitate to contact me or ask me, shall you have anything that are unclear? And I very much welcome your suggestions on how to make this learning easy and also more enjoyable for you, although we cannot meet face to face. Okay, so till next time, I'll see you in my next video for landscape planning techniques. Bye.